Prabhupada teachings, reading his books, actually turned my life over. When we see and the engagement or association of the devotees is also there, but the actual spiritual strength, it was coming from the first canto, first part, and I happened to read it, and I was in YMCA somehow or other for some days, and I finished the first volume, and it was so potent. My father brought it from a garbage can in Rockefeller Center during the Christmas time, because devotees were freely distributing, shoving in the throats, they call it. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, he picked up. He didn't read it, but I read, and I was convinced. Then I convinced him, and he took initiation too. Both my parents were initiated. Anyway, that was a later story. But the idea is that the potency of conviction on the absolute truth was in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Mahatmya of Srimad Bhagavatam, everything is so much explained by Srila Prabhupada in his purports, and I got convinced from that point. We also won the biggest court case and beautiful judgment that it is historical about our fight against lumping us into the cult, what they call. And Srila Prabhupada during that time was guiding devotees, and devotees were guiding life members how to counteract this thing. So we collected petitions and we propagated so heavily. So this kind of involvement was there, and indirectly we see that the devotees are instrument, but directly Prabhupada was instructing how to handle the court cases. I vividly remember that he sent us the message that just pile up my books on the table of the judge, and Krishna will take care. And he was exactly right. The judge was so impressed by the reviews and content of the books, and he gave Hare Krishna as an authentic bona fide religion with history of 5,000 years old, and beautiful judgment. So we became so much involved with a reciprocation of some spiritual reward, as well as material, what you call prestige through the judgment. When Prabhupada gave the idea to put up the whole Bhagavatam set and other books, on the judge's table, Toshan Krishna Prabhu and others who were in charge at that time, they really were enthused, and we were of the part of the team, but we were taking the petitions from the Indian community all over New York and New Jersey area. So Srila Prabhupada, what do we call spiritual insights, that this is the entire pivot on which the judgment would depend. That the books are so potent that even a person who doesn't have any faith can generate faith, not only what to speak of faith, but to evaluate the books on the merits of authenticity and historical treatise on the Vedanta studies, and that is marvelous. I mean, full-fledged judgment in our favor. We didn't expect anything like that, but nonetheless, it's by Prabhupada's, and Prabhupada gets the credit for that. Prabhupada's mercy, that the devotees were helped out. Sometimes he becomes stunned during giving class in New York, it says, And Prabhupada was giving class and devotees were talking, that all of a sudden Prabhupada stopped and said, make preparation, make seat for Narad Muni, he is coming. Right? The physical ecstasy, seeing the deity, that is also a sign of surrender. Then when he became totally incapacitated, yet he showed that vigor and enthusiasm and tried to push on the movement even in such what you call infirmity. Prabhupada, was absolutely in trance meditation and was talking of preaching like a warrior. The last days he was giving instruction and translating Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are wonderful qualities. Nobody can do that. People are under bodily conception, even though they may show, but they would not, show this symptom. Prabhupada was very, very highly elevated soul. It is the supreme Paramahamsa, and we should appreciate that we may not be able to understand this, and we cannot analyze this, but seeing such things, is absolutely marvelous. And by His grace, His divine grace, we are able to, sustain our devotional service. That is the glory of Srila Prabhupada, who is a totally surrendered soul.
Je anilo premadana koruna prachu